Well, good morning. Thank you for joining me out here on the beach. So today, I think what I want to talk about is being good to ourselves in recovery. One of the things that I did when I was first getting sober was I wanted it now. You know, I wanted all of it. I wanted not only sobriety, but I wanted my family back. I wanted my income back. I wanted to get out of all the trouble that I was in. I wanted it now. You know, I kind of punished myself because it was taking so long. I was like really hard on myself over that. And there's no need to be hard on yourself. Other people are doing it for you. But it turns out that I'm my own worst critic when it comes to that. I'm like, Earl, get it together, man. You know? Now, I don't know if that's partly perfectionism or if it's just the fact that I'm an impatient person. I don't know. All I know is that nobody's going to be good to me. Nobody's going to give me respect until I give it to myself. Now, getting sober is a very respectful thing to do. In other words, people who are getting sober, man, I have ultimate respect for what they're doing in their life. They're changing their lives. It's so important. So incredibly important. So one of the ways that I can be good to myself is to accept the fact that I'm not an immoral person. I have an illness. It's called alcoholism. And I'm recovering from that illness. You know, if I had another illness of some kind and it was taking a while to get better, you know, I'm not going to be hard on myself. Come on, Earl, get better, damn it. You know, that's not the way that works, right? You just continue on until you do get better. If you have a friend that, say, has a broken arm and they have to have surgeries and all that, are you going to give them a hard time about how long it's going to take? No, you're going to be patient with them. Now, that's one way, being patient with yourself, being patient with others. It's hard to be patient with others if you can't be patient with yourself. So another way that we can be good to ourselves in recovery is to begin to enjoy life. You know, for years when I was drinking, I wasn't enjoying life. I thought that by drinking, I could enjoy life. That's what destroyed my life. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to destroy my life. I want a good life. So now that I'm sober, what do I do about that? How do I have a good life sober when all this time I thought that I had to drink to have a good life? Well, first of all, most things that I enjoyed when I was drinking, I can enjoy sober as well, or even more so. However, there are some things that I need to steer clear of. Like, for example, I used to love to play pool in a bar. That's probably not a good idea, especially in early sobriety. But I think I've told you guys about my first time fishing sober. I used to love to go fishing. I found out I don't even like fishing. I just like sitting in a boat drinking beer. So once I gave up the booze, you know, I tried fishing. I didn't like it. But there are other things that are intensified by not drinking. And those are the things that I enjoy so much in life. For example, a sunrise at the beach. I've seen sunrises all my life. I grew up here in Florida. Seeing a sunrise at the beach is a beautiful thing, sure. But if you're drinking, it's not near as enjoyable as when I'm sober. When I'm sober, it becomes a spiritual experience. There's something very spiritual about being down here watching the sunrise. Now, not everybody that's watching this video can go to the beach and watch the sunrise. That's just an example. There are other things. Another thing that I love to do is sunsets. Sunsets are beautiful, and I don't care where you are, the sun is going to rise and the sun is going to set. You may not be at the beach or on the top of a mountain, but you can find beauty in the smallest things now because you're sober, you're clear-eyed, you're clear thinking. You're enjoying those little things that we all just kind of took for granted. Yes, we have to stay diligent with our recovery. There are little tasks that we have to do every day to treat our alcoholism. But that doesn't mean that that's all we do. Life goes on. Life goes on. And recovery gives me a life. Now, is it going to give me a life where I'm just dull, boring, glum? No. In sobriety, it gives me the opportunity to really and truly feel the wonder of being alive on God's earth. This place is amazing. It really is. We're experiencing springtime all of a sudden here in Florida. And I'm sure that in other places, you guys are getting there too. All the little bright green leaves that are showing up and, all the birds that are coming back. Those things, I know, they're so trivial. But they're not when you take the time to enjoy that stuff. Believe me, I don't want to sound corny, but experiencing and enjoying and appreciating those little things about the world around us, that's part of being good to yourself. That's part of experiencing a good life in recovery. Another way that we can be good to ourselves is to treat ourselves well. Now is a good time to start thinking about healthy habits, healthy eating habits, healthy activities. A good meal, nothing like a good meal. And how many times did we put off or not partake in a good meal because we were busy drinking? Spending time with people we care about. That's so important, so incredibly important. Our relationships, we can enjoy these people now because they can enjoy us. We're now becoming trusted members of our family. Those are good things. Practicing gratitude, that's another big one. In fact, it may be the biggest. That's one great way to treat ourselves well, is to be grateful for what we have. Be grateful for the fact that we're not only sober, but we're improving our lives. That's really something to be grateful for. So if you're having a hard time with not being good to yourself, you're being overcritical of yourself and how long it's taking you to enjoy sobriety, start today. Start giving yourself a break, man. You drank for a long time, probably. It may take a long time. But each and every day that you stay sober is a miracle. And it's definitely something to be grateful for. All of these things that we've talked about is just scratching the surface of being good to yourself and doing things that are good for you. But when you do these things and you stay sober, eventually you'll be happy, joyous, and free. So be good to yourselves, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Thanks for watching. Hey, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, bye.